Hello and welcome to The Print. Today we have with us Farid Mamundzay, the Afghan ambassador to India, to discuss the power struggle that has been unfolding in his embassy over the last couple of days. His trade counsellor, Qadir Shah, had self-appointed himself chargé d'affaires, and we seem to see that the MEA is unlikely to intervene in the matter, according to sources who told The Print. So, Ambassador, I want to ask you, Qadir Shah released a statement yesterday where he said he was not politically affiliated with the Taliban, and he also accused you of evil designs. What was your initial reaction to his press statement yesterday?
Thank you for having me. Well, it's not a power struggle. The power struggle is usually something of a different nature. The plan here was that the individual take charge of the mission in my absence in favor of Taliban, as directed and planned by them from Kabul. Secondly, why would Taliban appoint somebody among a lot of diplomats who have greater experience than Mr. Shah, more experienced, more expertise, and they have been posted in quite a few capitals prior to their appointments in Delhi. This is Mr. Shah's first foreign appointment, or foreign missions appointment. And why would Sohail Shaheen say that we have appointed a CDA in Delhi? And finally, I had spoken to him for 3 continuous consecutive days, trying to convince him to let go of these plans. So sadly, backtracking from the original motive, coming up with a statement, trying to divert and shift the blame in the mission, I think is not appropriate, and the evidence speaks for itself.
Would you say that Mr. Qadir Shah failed to take over the embassy in your absence while you were visiting your family in London last month, and now he seems to be backtracking for this reason, that he was failed to deliver on perhaps instructions from the regime in Kabul?
That's right. Yes, the effort has been there. We have a lot of colleagues working at the mission, and there has been no personal animosity with Mr. Shah. We have been working in a very cordial, friendly environment in the past 27 months. There has been no issue of such nature. There has been no controversy at our mission while I have been in India all these months, 2 years and 3 months. We don't need this. Why would we want to put one of our colleagues in that position? There's no moral and human justification for it. Above all, he is a human being and an Afghan. We have no personal grudges against him. It's an issue of principles. We represent the former republic. We hoist the flag of the republic. And as a matter of principle, we had decided that we would not take orders from Kabul. We would not take funding from them. So when we collectively, the mission collectively decides to do that, why does he go against those set norms, set standards at the mission? We respect any decision by MEA or the Indian government. We have been very well treated as a mission. But when it comes to representing Taliban in Delhi, we were very clear from day one that there would be no formal engagement with Taliban for as long as there is no recognition to their government by any government or by the people of Afghanistan.
So, what are your expectations of the host country, which is India, and what action are you expecting from the MEA to take, maybe against Mr. Qadir Shah?
Well, first of all, we are grateful for the support that we have received from the Indian people and the Indian government. And I think this is a legal issue as far as we see it, where a serving member of the staff switches side to a group with whom we have no formal relations. We don't represent them. A letter coming from Taliban's foreign minister appointing him as CDA, while I am away from the mission at that time, trying to take over on this position and hand over the mission either directly or indirectly to Taliban, was something which should have not occurred. We respect the position and any position and decision that the MEA would take in this regard. We have had consultation with them, and we look forward to reach a conclusion where which would be mutually acceptable both to the mission and to the Ministry of External Affairs.
Are you hoping the MEA takes any action against Mr. Shah's visa here?
I leave all those decisions to MEA. MEA, our request has been that they take all decisions according to international diplomatic laws and consider the historic long Indo-Afghan friendship, while at the same time honor the will of the Afghan people. We understand that Taliban desperately requires representation or presence in important capitals. Delhi is one of the most important capitals in the world, with probably one of the highest international presence here, international diplomatic presence here. Taliban understand the significance of Delhi. They have been after Afghan missions for a long time. This is not the first time that we are seeing a discord, a conflict, a engineered conflict in Delhi. This has happened in a number of other capitals at Afghan missions. We have the example of Italy, Kuwait, Dubai, and a few other places where the plan was to end up having the mission managed or discredit from within. And that has been the case in the past 3 weeks here, sadly. We don't want that. India is a great country. We have had high regards for India and Indians, and they have had the same feelings for Afghans. I feel very sad to see negative press in the past 3-4 days here. This is the last thing, as head of mission, I wanted to see in the Indian press. But as a matter of principle, things went to a stage where the Afghan and Indian public had to know the facts, and we were pushed to that stage.
My final question to you is, what is your take on recognition of Taliban that we're seeing across the world? You had mentioned also that there are a couple of capitals across the world where the Taliban has been successful in installing its nominees. We've seen it in China, we've seen it in the UAE. What is your take on the situation in India?
No democratic government has accepted Taliban's diplomats. Possibly the vast majority of them had been sent to countries with a different governance structure, not a fully democratic structure, which I think was an easier install. Like I said, we respect the wish and the will of the Indian government and Indian people. If the will is that Taliban began to respond to the wishes of the Afghan people in a way where they would begin to offer freedom and liberty of equal rights, and the Afghan people began to give them the required legitimacy, then I don't see any problem with India or any other government granting them recognition. But at a time when 2/3 of our people are faced with hunger, when